Hi guys, welcome to this month's dispatches for the month of June 2024, and I'm happy to report that it's going to be quite a bumper month. We've got quite a raft of releases. As you can see if you look on the table here with me, the theme is most definitely liberation, and that liberation 1944, specifically the liberation of Normandy and later all of France. This also marks the 80th anniversary of the landings on the 6th of June in Normandy on the 5 invasion beaches, 2 of which were American, the other 3 were British and Canadian. Now we are focusing this time round on the American forces, and what we've also brought out is the very first of our all-metal die-cast Sherman tanks, the M4 Sherman tank to be exact. And what you can see is the 2 models that we have here, along with no less than 8 individual tanker figures. When I say they're individual, 6 of them are individual, you can buy them piece by piece, but 2 of them have got other people with them, especially this little one here, where we've got a US Army tanker being very warmly greeted by a very grateful young French lady who's got him in quite a tight clinch. Next to him is a little French kid that's been picked up by one of the GIs, and the kid's giving the GI a big hug as well. It's quite interesting because one of the stories that I remember from my aunts and uncles and parents from the war was that when the Americans arrived in Britain, all the kids loved the American, well, everybody loved the American soldiers that arrived, but one of the great things that they loved about the Americans was all of these GIs arrived with all kinds of amazing candy and chocolates and chewing gum especially, that they were very generous with, especially with the kids and the local girls. So you can see why kids everywhere would like these American liberators. So as I say, we've got 8 US Army tankers dismounted from their tanks, but the 2 Sherman tanks themselves. Now again, like our German Tiger tanks, these all-metal ones have full suspension. They've got moving tracks and wheels. They've got all-metal bodies, guns and turrets, but they also come, each tank is going to come with both 3 figures, crew figures, and 2 little different loads of supplies. You'll see number 17 here has half a dozen sandbags, the individual sandbags that you can place anywhere on the tank or use for anything else you want, whereas Tonto, which is the nickname of this tank here, has a backload of supplies as well. Now, as I mentioned before, both tanks have slightly different crews. You can most definitely see that in the case of the tank commanders are individually. This one here, in fact, is a full body US Army tanker, and this one here is a 3/4 body, and then you've got figures for the open hatches in the front, the driver and the gunner in both cases. So we've got those guys, but what we also thought was essential, and when we were originally planning this, we decided that we wanted to have more French civilians. And again, this is another of those suggestions that came out of when I was in Europe last year and talking to some of our dealers there, and they were requesting European civilians. Well, this being the 80th anniversary of D.Day, we thought it would be great to show American tanks or any Allied troops liberating a French village or town or city, and the local population coming out to greet them and welcome them after 4 very tough years under German occupation. And when you look at the civilian figures, there's actually quite a variety in them. I've mentioned before the young girl kissing the GI and the little toddler here, but you'll see we've got little family groups. We'll get a young mum together with her young daughter. We've got two very pretty young ladies. One's waving the Stars and Stripes, another is waving the tricolor, the French flag. And on the far side here, there's another young lady who's carrying a French flag that also has the Cross of Lorraine, which was a symbol of the Free French forces under General de Gaulle, and that's been stitched or painted onto the flag itself. We've even got a little French Boy Scout who's saluting the Americans, and is obviously very proud and happy to welcome these guys to his town. We've got other gentlemen here. We've got this guy's obviously very happy, both hands in the air. He's not surrendering, he's just welcoming the liberators. This Natalie dressed gent here has obviously got a glass of beer in one hand and the bottle of beer in the other. I don't know whether he's going to share it with any of these Americans. I'm hoping he's got maybe a little case of beer in the back that he can give to one of the tank crews. And we've even got a French waiter, very traditional figure wearing the outfit, and he's actually been brushing outside his cafe, but he's come out to see what all the fuss is about. Have I missed any figures? Let me see. I don't think so. So that's all tied in with June. Now all the figures definitely we will have in June. We were just notified a couple of days ago that there might be a little delay on the tanks themselves. So I'm praying and hoping that they'll be here in June, but it might go into a little bit of July. But anyway, that's to keep you informed on it. And of course, for all those that have ordered, and there's been many orders, we'll keep you in touch with what's happening. But they will be coming, and you can see here the great box that each model will be coming in. So we'll get that. And hidden just behind here is one more French figure. Now this figure is one of Louis XIV, the Sun King, probably one of the greatest French monarchs that ever lived. He was the man that was responsible for the arts and sciences flourishing during his reign in France, and when France became a great continental power, bigger than every other political power in mainland Europe. His other great claim to fame, he was the man that commissioned and helped design the Palace of Versailles, which I've visited it once. It's magnificent, huge big palace on the outskirts of Paris. If you ever get to Paris, I recommend you take a trip out to see Versailles. Well, Louis XIV, among many other things, was responsible for its design and construction, a monumental achievement. So we've got that, we've got our civilians, we've got our US Army tankers, and as you can see, here's the certificates that will go with each of the tanks. If you haven't placed your order yet, get it in, because I think these will go very, very fast, and we'll get them to you ASAP. But if there's anything else I can tell you, or if I can think of, I'll post another little video. Otherwise, we'll let you take a closer look at everything, and see you next time. Cheers.